Alright, so you've got your paper drafted. Great. It's 6 to 8 pages long. Even better. Right now, what you got is a chunk of text. It's got all kinds of random thoughts. It's got all kinds of digressions probably. It might have some errors, I don't know. Here's what you need to do at this point. You need to get together with some of the people that you're in your class, or if you don't know the people in your class especially well, get together with some friends, hopefully someone who can write pretty well. Alright? When you get together with those people, you can really think about this in terms of 3 or 4 stages, depending on how much work you want to put into it, how good you want your grade to be, frankly. Alright? The first stage you've already finished. You've got that draft done. You've got 6 to 8 pages of material. In the second stage, what you need to do is have somebody take a look at this thing with an eye for the big picture. Alright? So in other words, how does your paper get from A to B? Does your paper start out with a lot of research and a lot of particulars and then move towards a theory about how it plays out in your profession? Does it start out with a big categorical discussion about what it means to be a Christian educator and then demonstrates how Dunn supports that? Does it move in some other way? The question you need to ask when you look at somebody else's paper, the question that somebody else needs to ask when somebody else looks at your paper, is going to be, is there some kind of intelligible movement? Alright? In other words, does this thing randomly wander? Or can I say, alright, looking at these transitions, looking at the order of the paragraphs, looking at these things, this paper starts with this for this reason, this paper moves through this for this reason, and it finishes with this for this reason. The main thing you want to make sure of is that you as a writer can give an account for your paper. Alright? If you as a writer can in good faith say, I have made this a walk from A to B for my reader, I'm serving my reader, this is how I'm serving my reader, and these are the details that serve my reader. If you can, on all those levels, vouch for your own paper, odds are it's going to be there. Now, how do you get there? A couple things. First of all, as I said before, think about your paragraph order. At this point, you've got a draft in front of you. You've got copy and paste on your computer. Move those paragraphs around. Experiment with it. Save a few different versions. See which one reads better. All right? Once you've got the big blocks in place so that it makes sense, you've changed some of your material so it fits a little bit better, think about your thesis statement, all right? What's the big idea, the big relationship that you want to articulate in this paper? Make sure that your thesis points to that big relationship. Is the big relationship about about death? Is it about interconnectedness? Is it about your profession? What is it that really governs this paper, binds it together? If you can give your reader that in the opening paragraph or two of your paper, it's going to make the rest of the paper read much better. Beyond that, think about what you're doing with your topic sentences in each paragraph. Think about it not always in terms of how does it link back to your thesis statement, but how does it link to what just came before in the paper? In other words, how do we move from body paragraph 1 to body paragraph 2? What's their relationship to each other? Make sure you write a topic sentence that connects those things. You'll notice that everything I'm saying here has to do with connections. Alright? If the parts of your paper are connected to each other and you've thought about how they're connected to each other, you're going to end up with a better paper. Alright? Finally, within each paragraph, think about how the sentences relate to each other. You know, why does this come after this? If you can answer that, spell your answer out for your reader by means of a transition. Okay? That's stage 2. Now, stage 3 can either be your final draft, or if you want to put some extra spit and polish into it, you can do what I call an agents and actions run. Alright? Now, what do I mean by agents and actions? In every clause, which is a unit of speech or writing with a subject and a verb, you've got a subject and a verb. Alright? Now, the agents and actions are the ideas that you're trying to get across in your writing. Okay? An agents and actions pass means that you go sentence by sentence, sometimes backwards through your paper so that you're not blinded by your own meaning. Alright? And by the way, this works better if you look at someone else's paper. You go through this paper sentence by sentence and you ask yourself, alright, what is the grammatical verb here? What is the grammatical subject here? And then you ask yourself, alright, in terms of the paper, is this subject really who or what is doing something? Is this verb really what that who or what is doing? Now, a couple things people slip up on this. Number one, they start doing passive constructions. Alright? That's where you take what should be your subject and you shuffle it off to the end of the sentence because you didn't think about it. Another thing people do is nominalization. In other words, they take the real action, what's really happening, they turn it into a noun. Ask an English teacher about these things. Drop by my office. Talk to one of our English professors here. They're good people. We can talk to you about your verb choice. All right? Now, if you decide to go with the 4 stages, that was stage number 3, right? Stage number 4 is going to be where you go through and you make sure that a few things that tend to derail people aren't going to derail you. One of them is you make sure that your singulars match up with your singulars, your plurals with your plurals. Check every verb, make sure the subject matches up, singular to singular, plural to plural. Check every instance of they, them, or their. Make sure it matches up with a plural word. A lot of times people will match they up with a singular word. That's a bad gaffe, okay? Also, make sure that all your clauses are connected. Remember, a clause is a unit of speech or writing with a subject and a verb. Make sure that you don't have any sentence fragments. In other words, a clause that needs to be attached to another clause but isn't. Make sure you don't have comma splices, 2 independent clauses linked together with only a comma. Make sure you don't have any run-on sentences, 2 independent clauses with nothing connecting them. Again, if you need some review on these things, the SSC is there to help you. The English department is here to help you. Please ask us for these things. If you go through these 4 things, and if you have other people help you with these 4 things, your paper is going to be far and away better than it would be otherwise. All right? I don't know how much time I've eaten up right now. Hopefully I'm still under the YouTube limit. But let me say one more thing. The more drafts of this thing you do, the better results you're going to get. The clearer your thoughts going to be, the better it's going to serve your purposes. This is Nathan Gilmore. I will see you after the click.